Hey everyone, welcome back to another deep dive.
Yeah, great to be here.
Today we're tackling something a lot of you have been asking about.
Yeah.
28 days to successes.
Lots of buzz around that one.
Right. And I have to admit, when I saw this free ebook on freeupus.com, I was intrigued. I mean, 28 days, that feels doable, you know?
Totally. And the numbers seem to back it up. Over 22,000 downloads. So clearly people are finding something worthwhile in there.
That's a good point. 4 to 5 stars too. Yeah. So not too shabby.
Definitely not.
Okay. So for those who haven't come across it yet, what is 28 Days to Success all about?
Well, it's built on this idea that small but consistent changes over just 28 days can lead to some pretty significant improvements.
Kind of like, I don't know, like compound interest, but for your habits.
Exactly. You got small deposits of effort every day, and over time, they really start to add up.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so does it deliver? What kind of stuff does it actually cover?
Well, the ebook description promises to help you start exercising, find more happiness, and learn to set goals, which I think are pretty universal goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all geared towards, like, normal people leading a normal life,
Right.
which I appreciate. Because some self-help stuff can feel a little out there.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into those 3 areas a bit. Starting with exercise. What are some small steps someone could take to get started?
You know, even just a 10-minute walk each day can make a huge difference.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Studies show it impacts both your physical and mental health. And it's something almost anyone can do right out of their front door.
That's true. I guess I always think of exercises like hitting the gym or something.
Sure, but it doesn't have to be that intense to be effective. You can gradually increase the time or try different activities as you build up strength and stamina.
Okay, so find something you actually enjoy doing. That makes sense. What about happiness? Any quick wins in that department?
Gratitude journaling has become really popular, and for good reason. Just taking a few minutes each day to write down things you're grateful for, it can rewire your brain to focus on the positive.
That's fascinating. So you're actually training your brain to be happier.
Exactly. It's like building a mental muscle for positivity.
I like it. And what about goal setting? Any practical tips there?
It mentions using the SMART goals framework.
Which stands for?
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Right. So instead of just saying, like, I want to get fit, you'd say,
I'll walk for 30 minutes 3 times a week for the next month.
much more concrete. I see that. Okay, but one thing that really caught my eye was the emphasis on proactive change. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's about moving from a reactive mindset where you're always responding to problems to a proactive one where you're anticipating them and taking initiative.
So instead of waiting for stress to, like, totally overwhelm you, you'd proactively schedule some relaxation time.
Exactly. It's about taking control instead of letting circumstances control you.
I see that. It's like a preemptive strike against burnout. Or even just bad habits.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with your time and energy. And that brings us back to that idea of this book being for normal people leading a normal life.
Right, because sometimes that perfect self-help image feels so unattainable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like who actually has time to meditate for an hour every day and make all their meals from scratch?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe this ebook is saying, like, hey, we get it. Here's some stuff you can actually do in your real life.
Exactly. It's about making self-improvement feel less intimidating and more accessible.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got small changes, proactive mindset, relatable advice. Who is this Tommy Mackin guy anyway?
He's described as a qualified life coach, which basically means he helps people define their goals and overcome obstacles in their personal, professional lives.
So like a combination of cheerleader and strategist.
Yeah, exactly. Someone to provide support and guidance.
But what does qualified even mean? Is there like a life coach certification board or something?
Well, there isn't one universal standard. Some coaches have certifications from specific organizations, while others might have backgrounds in fields like psychology or counseling.
So experience definitely matters.
Absolutely. You wouldn't want someone with zero life experience telling you how to live yours.
No, for sure.
Right.
Okay, so we've got this ebook by a qualified life coach, promising achievable self-improvement in just 28 days. It focuses on exercise, happiness, and goal setting, all with a proactive mindset and relatable advice. Sounds promising.
Sounds promising.
But does it deliver? We'll have to find out in the next part of our deep dive.
Definitely stay tuned.
All right, we'll be right back after a quick break.
See you soon. You know, it's interesting how this whole 28-day thing kind of taps into this desire for a clear path to self-improvement.
Right. It's appealing. In a world where we're bombarded with information all the time, having these bite-sized steps for 28 days, it just feels manageable, you know?
Totally. And remember we talked about how popular those time-bound challenges are? There's actually a psychological reason why they work so well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, setting a time frame creates this sense of urgency and commitment. It's like a mini deadline that motivates you to take action.
And then as you start checking things off, you get that little boost of confidence. It keeps you going.
Exactly, like a snowball effect.
Yeah. But going back to this ebook's focus on normal people, do you think that's just marketing? Or is it a genuine attempt to make self-improvement more accessible?
I think it's probably a bit of both,
Yeah?
honestly. It definitely makes it stand out in a crowded self-help market.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it reflects this growing awareness that traditional self-help advice can feel kind of out of reach for a lot of people, you know?
Like, who has time for hour-long meditations and making green smoothies when you're just trying to get through the day?
Exactly. It's like, okay, sure, I'd love to live in a minimalist tiny house and do yoga on a mountaintop, but right now I've got laundry to do.
Bills to pay and a job to go to. So maybe this book is saying, like, hey, we get it. Here's some things you can actually do right now in your real life.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to make positive changes without feeling overwhelmed or like they need to completely overhaul their lives.
And speaking of feeling overwhelmed, maybe we could revisit that idea of proactive change. Give us some more examples of what that might look like in different areas of life.
Okay, sure. So we talked about scheduling relaxation time before burnout hits. But what about finances? Like setting up automatic savings so you're not scrambling at tax time.
Oh, that's a good one. Or instead of waiting for that leaky roof to cause major damage, you proactively schedule an annual inspection and make small repairs as needed.
Exactly. It's about being in control instead of constantly reacting to problems.
Okay, so let's circle back to those 3 core areas. The ebook focuses on exercising happiness and goal setting. What are some key takeaways for each area that our listeners can start implementing today?
For exercise, the most important thing is to find an activity you genuinely enjoy. Don't force yourself to do something you hate. You won't stick with it. Start small, be consistent, and then gradually increase the intensity or duration as you get stronger.
Yeah, and the ebook really emphasizes that gradual approach. It's not about going from 0 to 60 overnight. It's about building sustainable habits. What about happiness? What are some simple but effective ways to boost our mood?
You know, cultivating happiness is an ongoing journey, but even small daily practices can make a big difference. Gratitude journaling, mindfulness meditation, spending time in nature, connecting with loved ones. These are all simple but powerful ways to shift your focus to the positive and cultivate a sense of well-being.
It's like sprinkling those little moments of joy throughout your day instead of waiting for something big to happen to make you happy, right?
And finally, goal setting. We touched on the SMART goals framework earlier, but is there anything else the ebook highlights about setting yourself up for success? It emphasizes the importance of breaking down large goals into smaller, more manageable steps. That way it feels less overwhelming. Like imagine you want to write a book. Instead of focusing on the daunting task of writing thousands of words, you could set a daily goal of writing just 1 page.
That's a great idea. It's like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Exactly. And I think that's a great takeaway from this ebook.
So we've talked about the ebook's approach to self-improvement, the psychology behind time-bound challenges, and some practical takeaways for exercise happiness and goal setting. What's your overall impression of 28 Days to Success?
I think it offers a refreshing perspective on self-improvement, one that feels accessible and achievable for normal people leading busy lives. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
And I think that's a really powerful message. We don't have to wait for the perfect time or the perfect circumstances to start making positive changes. We can start right now with small steps and see those ripples spread throughout our lives.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And what's even more exciting is that this knowledge is freely available to anyone with an internet connection.
That's true. This ebook is just one example of the amazing resources you can find on freeebooks.com. It's like a goldmine for anyone who loves to learn.
It really is. But before we send our listeners down that rabbit hole, let's wrap up our deep dive into 28 Days to Success with some final thoughts and a little challenge for everyone.
Okay, so we've explored this whole idea of a roadmap to a better you in just 28 days. But here's the real question. If you could commit to just one positive change from this ebook for the next month, what would it be?
That's a good one. You know, for me, I think I'd focus on bringing more mindfulness into my day, even just 15 minutes each morning, to sit quietly, observe my breath, and just be present.
I love that. Such a simple thing, but the research shows it can have such a profound impact on your well-being.
Totally. And like we talked about earlier, consistency is key, making it a non-negotiable part of your routine.
And for our listener out there, we want to hear from you. What's that one positive change you're ready to commit to for the next 28 days?
Yeah, let us know. Share it in comments.
And let's create a little community of support as we all work towards becoming the best versions of ourselves.
That's a great idea. I love that.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into 28 days to success, remember, you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start making positive changes.
Small steps taken consistently can create incredible results.
And this ebook, freely available on freeebooks.com, is a great place to start.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of exploration and self-discovery. We hope you found it insightful and empowering.
We did too.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself.
The power to change your life is within you.
That's a wrap.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.